I grew up going to Cougar games, both at then Jepson and then Astrodome. And my father was very involved in politics, so I got to know the people who represented us. I volunteered on campaigns. I started when I was like 14, knocked on doors, hung door hangers. I always enjoyed the electoral politics, but I always thought the government sector is something that is extremely important to our world, and particularly communities of color. My father worked very hard at raising money for the United Negro College Fund, and he always said that education is the great equalizer, and having a university of the first class, and that's what we've been trying to get to, in the district means that people don't have to go far to attend a university of the first class. So what I've tried to do over the 30 years is to improve the university. I thought it was really important that we not lock people out, because University of Houston has been a place where no matter where you started, you could get where you were going. I think that it'll continue to grow and diversify its programs and create more programs that are high-level programs for people who need a challenge. Education is extremely important. University of Houston is a regional, statewide university that is very important to the success of the state. I'm very honored to receive this award. I didn't do any of this to receive any awards. It means a lot because I wasn't a student at University of Houston. But I feel like I'm a part of the family, and so to be honored by my cousins, it's really an honor.
Presenting Garnet with his medallion this evening is Renee Cross and the Honorable Armando Wally. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Garnet Coleman.
This is really exciting, and it's such an honor. When the taping was being done for the video that you just saw, I mean, I live 5 blocks from the campus. That's my home. I grew up in the neighborhood around the campus. When we were younger, we used to sneak into Hofheinz Pavilion and lift weights that the athletes had and spend our time, ride our bikes up here. And spend a lot of time, but also growing up watching the different sports teams and the people who provided that student athlete work that that were champions in the country. And I think about it, champions. These weren't sort of champions. These were people in the Final Four. These were people who, like Carl Lewis, who's a friend, who were winning Olympic gold medals, and people like Jolanda, who was tearing up the track and doing different things. And so, you know, if you think about it, we knew U of H for being a premier sports promoting and winning university. We always knew it was good academically, but now we know that University of Houston for its academic prowess, and that it is and always has been and will be an institution of the first class, and will get to that point where, as the chancellor said, that it's one of the top 50 universities in the country. And we already know that it's one of the top universities in Texas, if not the top. And the reason is it doesn't exclude people. When you have a university that looks at everyone and says everyone has to have an opportunity to excel, that makes all the difference in the world. And that's the heritage of this university, is that everyone can do well and everyone can succeed if they have the opportunity to do so. And that's been my experience. In our office, we've had a couple of different internship programs from the law school, the health law policy internship program. There's some people here today, Nick and my good Mr. Friese, who, and we've had, I don't know how many, 30 interns in the office over the years, maybe more than that. Graduate College of Social Work in the Legislative Study Group. We've had over 100 in the Legislative Study Group, and in my office. I mean, that's a big deal because I started off being an intern to Mickey Leland in Washington, D.C., and those are the types of things that get people interested in government. And I know that Armando and Renee were interns out of the University of Houston. Renee Cross, who was my first intern from the CHIP program in 1992, and became my district director, and she is the senior, what are you, senior? You're senior something. She's the head woman in charge over there at the hobby school. And actually, she's the head person in charge. Jim, I'm not trying to, no, but it's true. And Armando interned as an undergrad from U of H and got his law degree from the University of Houston and has done an excellent job in the legislature. As a matter of fact, he just became the chair of the Legislative Study Group, which will have 10 or more interns from the Graduate College of Social Work doing analysis of legislation that and how it affects families in Texas. You should have never given a former politician a microphone because I won't get them very often from now on. But the most important thing are the students and is the mission of the university and that continue. And I've had the honor of being able to serve this university working on the hobby school, the medical school, Graduate College of Social Work, different initiatives, Tier 1, started working on Tier 1 when I first got here, got in the legislature 30 years ago. I'm glad to see that these are things that are really making a difference and will continue to make a difference. And just because I'm not in the legislature, now that I'm like an honorary alumni, that doesn't mean I'm not going to be working on getting us to number 50 and beyond, because that's extremely important. So, one last thing. There have been a lot of accolades for the president and the chancellor for her work at the university in her 14 years. I didn't realize it had been that long. Seems like yesterday. It's clear that she has been a dynamic force on this campus. And when you're a dynamic force, people either love you or hate you. But they cannot, see, that's what they tell me. We hate you, but we love you. The deal is that in the final analysis, it's about what we get done. And she has done so much to move, along with the board and the provost and others, to move this university to another place. And that deserves a round of applause. So I'm honored to receive this Chair's Award, and I'm honored to be a part of the University of Houston family, cousins, y'all my cousins. So I do have to introduce my family. I think that would probably not be a bad idea if I did not. I always do that. It's my wife, Angelique. Please stand, Angelique. Our son, Austin. Our daughter, Evan. My sister, Kathy. my brother John, my cousin Annette Bracey, and her husband Arthur Bracey, Dr. Arthur Bracey, my cousin Valerie Coleman Ferguson. Y'all might have seen her in the general counsel's office over here on the campus, where she's been for a while. I tell you, and Jean, cousin by marriage, extraordinary professor from the Graduate College of Social Work who just retired. So, again, this has been a great honor. I probably took longer than 3 minutes. I thought I could do it in a little less time than that. But having Armando and Renee and my family here, I generally don't bother my family about coming to things, because that's part of this job. But this is different. And so it's very important that family and friends be here for this honor, and staff, because they made all this happen, not me. Thank you.